All right. Well, hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone in the chat, everyone from the future. My name is Guillaume. I'm here with Thomann's Guitars and Basses, and I have the absolute pleasure to be talking to Matt Heafy. How are you, Matt?
Very good, man. I am so sorry about my lateness. I'm so sorry. I was out here like recording vocals. Like I had the dates mixed up, didn't have the reminders. So
That's all good. It was actually super funny. Like we were commenting on Twitch. Like, hey, Matt.
I'm so sorry, man.
No, it was really fun. I'm sorry you couldn't finish.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, it's really good to have you here, man. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, man. Of course.
It's a live Q&A, so we're going to take a bunch of questions from the chat. I hope everyone out there is all safe and good. We already have quite a few questions.
Awesome.
And so I'm just going to start straight in, if that's okay with you. And obviously, first ones were regarding your gear, mostly. This is a gear channel, and people were curious. You've been teasing an amp quite a bit as of late, and can you tell us more about this? Is there anything happening?
Well, obviously, because the state of the world, everything is slowed down, especially things in like kind of old school equipment like amps. So we were getting pretty far along in development. We were already actually making designs with one of our good friends, Jody. He had everything spec'd out. He actually spec'd out all my upcoming Epiphones as well. We had it all ready to go.
Oh, wow.
Everything shut down. All the plans for that amp company shut down. So all the plans are just on an indefinite hold right now. So we want to go for it, but we're just not really sure when it's happening.
For sure, but there is something happening.
Yes, allegedly. According to them, it's still happening. So I really hope so, because I really want to make it happen. Because we've always wanted to have a one-stop shop amp, because people are always like, what amp should I use? What pedal should I use? What guitar should I use? We wanted to have one that had all built in, so you don't have to buy all the gear on top of it. You could just get it and be ready to go. So that was the plan with it. We had all the integrations that we want to integrate without revealing too much information, so no one takes those ideas. But we had it where, like, if you want to sound like Trivium or Gojira or At the Gates or In Flames or Killswitch or that modern metal tone, modern metal or modern metalcore or modern melodic death metal, it was ready to go. So it's on hold. We'll see what happens.
And that does sound allegedly really, really good.
Yeah, we have some other really cool gear plans as well, because it's just been, as you can see all this stuff right here. Oh shoot, you can't see it with this camera. You can see it with my camera. Yeah. I have been collecting so much gear lately. I'm looking at, I've got original 5150 block, 5152 original, a 6534 plus, and a 6505, and then probably 30 or 40 pedals. And this is all Corey Beaulieu's fault, because we're using. Like Kempers are incredible. Kempers are something we'll always use for Australia or Asia or South Africa or South America or whatever we're doing fly-in dates like that. We'll always use Kempers and modelers. But when we can use our semi and we can use our bus, we're going to have analog gear. So I currently have like the whole Maxon 40th anniversary edition stuff, all the Fortin stuff, all the Eris stuff, all the MXR stuff. It's pretty insane. I do have everything rigged up into here though. So I can show you the audio exactly, and I can show the listeners my audio. That's ready to go.
Really?
So whenever we're done with questions, I can show you the Gibson that was just sent to me. They just sent me a gold top 57 VOS. And I here was thinking I needed modern pickups. Wait to hear it. Wait to hear it. It's insane. Yeah. So I can show that to your chat whenever you're ready.
Oh yeah, definitely. We sure going to do that. Hi Stan. Hi. Oh, Poomin J's here. Apparently you're still live on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm doing both.
People, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, just while we're into gear, and because most of the preliminary questions were about this, revamp of your Epiphone signature. We'll go more into details about this shortly. But one of my best friends here, Mikkel, is a massive fan of yours as well, and he's been in love with the Explorer custom guitar that you had on the Chapman live, I think, and like here and there, and he literally said that he would kill to get a 7-string version of that Epiphone Explorer Heafy signature. Is that something that we could possibly look forward to?
Maybe down the line, especially seeing that there's so much interest in that. The old one, that white one he's referring to, is in storage in Europe. It's in safekeeping with one of my friends. He's guarding it with his life right now, and he's in the right now laughing. He is guarding
Trust
with his
your
life.
Friends.
Yes, he's got it right now in Europe. As I said, he could borrow it for a little while. That's a good idea. But what we have coming out, with the Epiphone line. We've got the MKH Origins. So what it's going to be a duplicate of all my old original guitars, the first guitars everyone ever saw me with. The first Les Paul Custom. I'll show it to you 1 second.
Oh yeah, please. If you guys haven't seen that yet, Matt put out a video a couple of weeks back presenting all of his guitars, and that's a really good watch. And here is it. Oh my. Yeah, okay.
This one. I don't have my headphones on. I'll have my headphones back in a second. But you can see how much I've used this one by how the neck is just destroyed from playing it so much. But this is what my Epiphone was based off of, the original ones that people own now. Uh-oh, we lost your video.
Yeah, no, that's all good. The blurred background on Skype is on, so like some of the details on the guitar were kind of
blurred
I don't know
out. Why that's on. Let me see if I can turn that off. Skype always does random things.
Yeah. Blurry filter. Yeah, we're fixing that. That's all good.
They must have added that because they're trying to compete with Zoom or something, because that has never been on before.
Yeah.
Where is that setting?
I guess audio video settings, and then blur or add image or.
There we go.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Much better. That is so weird.
That looks a lot better.
One second, I'm trying to get your thing back on here now.
I was just telling the guys in the chat to go and check out the video you did a couple weeks back on like all of your guitar collection.
Yeah,
that was a really fun watch. Cool.
It's nuts. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. It's kind of getting out of control right now. All the true gearheads, if you don't know what this thing is, then you're not a true gearhead. This thing I've had to scour the earth for, because apparently Fredrik Thorendal from Meshuggah has bought all of them and is holding all of them in some bunker somewhere. So I finally have 3 of these. Because what modern metal tone has always been about, as everyone in here knows, has always been about throwing some form of an overdrive in front of some form of a head. But what most guys would always do, ourselves included, we'd always have the drive at 0. We'd always turn the drive all the way at 0, level all the way up. Oria did his research. He said basically what we're doing is we're not using an overdrive at that point. We're using a clean boost at that point. And then he mentioned this thing, and he's like, unfortunately, you can't get it anywhere. It has the weirdest power. It's got a 3.5 millimeter mini jack power that you have to use. You can use 9-volt power, but it actually won't work with the pedal. So you have to get up to 24 volts to make it work. Up to 36 max. So I scoured the planet. I posted on every single social media, and then 2 of my friends from my channel found 3 of them. Heavy Metal Tanny from Germany found 2 of these, and then my friend Veterans Gaming found another one. So now I have them. All 3 sound different, of course, because just like all vintage gear, nothing ever sounds different. Yeah. But dude, when we're done with questions and I show you my tone, I'd say it's my favorite tone I've ever had. I think it's better than our record tones. So, yeah.
That's promising.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're talking about the origin. Sorry,
we're talking about the new.
But so all my originals were based off of that original Les Paul Custom.
Yeah.
The black one that you see, the Snowfall. Now those are completely discontinued. So if anyone who has them or has been thinking about getting them, they'll never be made again. We're never doing that paint job again. So that means their value is going to go up. So collect them now, kids. I think the white one is completely sold out in the world. The black one, there's probably like 20 left. The Origin series is going to be the guitars that people first ever saw me with. It's going to look exactly like that guitar. It's going to be the black and gold Les Paul Custom, except it's going to have my custom Fishman fluences in them. I'll have an option 4 Evertune. There'll be 6 and 7, black and white. So 6/7, 6/7, black, white. And essentially that's 8 different versions. So all non-Evertune and all Evertune. We're also doing the same thing with Kramer Super Strats. We're basing it off the SM1, which is my favorite Super Strat by Kramer, because Kramer's on the Gibson family. So we're going to do that black, white, 6/7, 6/7. The scale length is going to be 25.5. My MKH Fishman fluences in them with or without Evertune. The Les Pauls, a lot of people have been asking about scale length on those. The original Les Paul scale length is perfect for 6-string, the 24 3/4. Yeah. Leaving it at that, but we're going to switch. We're going to test it first at 25.5 with 22 frets for the 7-string. I don't think 24 frets makes sense on a Les Paul. I don't like the way it looks. I think it makes it feel strange. We're going to try that. And then in the future, I don't know if I'm supposed to be discussing all these plans yet, but hey, what the heck? I didn't get a deep. We're also going to work on, this might be a year or two from now, a Steinberger modernized 8-string multi-scale.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be sick because as
That's
people.
A leap.
Yes, because I'm obsessed with 8 strings now. And
yeah.
Some other brands. Yeah, because I'm exclusive to Gibson Epiphone for all things Trivium Live, Trivium Studio, Trivium Documentary, Trivium Videos. But for like collections and stuff, I like to collect other stuff that I don't really bring on tour. And I've been able to play some really incredible guitars. And I was like, I want to see if I can engineer one with the fine folks at Gibson for Steinberger.
Cool. That sounds really exciting. That's really I was not expecting that at all. I was like more seeing a different shape or maybe a different kind of finish. But that's okay. That's a big leap. Wally, that there is a recurrent guy on the chat. He's a really cool dude. He's asking if we're looking at stainless steel frets on the new models.
We'll keep with where they've been. Like my big thing with gear and anything that I put my name on it is I want it to be affordable by all of our fans. I always think that so if stainless steel is looking like the best option, then it feels the best and it's gonna be the most affordable thing, then I'm gonna stick with that. That's why I do get questions a lot. People are like, well, why don't you have a signature Gibson? And I always say like, that's a price point. Like I love Gibsons, they're freaking incredible. Yeah. But I want something that people that are just jumping into guitar now, 12-year-old, 13-year-old who like I was when I picked up guitar, can afford it or ask their parents to buy it. It's not exorbitant and it's something they can play for 20 years. Yeah.
That's a really admirable vision, I think, and I really believe that Epiphone's been hitting it out of the park with your signatures and Bjorn's signatures and like all these models that came out so affordable and so well made. It was really, really cool to watch.
Yep, and I only bring my Epiphones on tour. That's true. A lot. I could bring my Gibsons, but I only bring my Epiphones. And my White Snowfall right now, up until the Gold Top showed up, is the best sounding guitar in my collection. It sounds better than every single other guitar, which is crazy. And I will show both of those to you guys.
Oh man, I don't have any Gibson. I only have like Epiphone, Les Paul P90, whatever. And it did knock some Gibsons way out as well, like in terms of how good it sounds. Nuts. So they're really well built instruments.
Jody, the guy that is speccing all the said the frets right now are nickel and stainless steel would be an upgrade. So we're going to stick with nickel, likely.
Okay, cool. Thank you. There's your answer, Walid. Had some more questions regarding, the last album, obviously. What did Denman say? Incredible. Just incredible. Some people are asking if you have any tips from jumping to 6 to 7, because the more you guys go, the more it seems to be seven strings. Not exclusively.
Deadman actually has a majority of 6 on drop D. So it's really preference. And what I've found that anyone who wants to jump into 7-string, if you're used to 6, just play stuff that you know on 6 on 7. So if you know how to play Sad But True, or you know how to play like Light to the Flies, play it on 7-string. And that's how you get acclimated to it. Same thing with 8-string for me. I felt like there almost was no jump to learning the 8-string, really. It's just you start playing riffs you're familiar with, pretend that's the low string, and eventually build up. Obviously, higher chords, like full chords, will be different, but you can experiment. And I feel like after just a couple of hours of playing stuff you're used to playing on like more strings will be easy.
Cool. There you go, Romain. That was I think that was you. I'm sorry, I lost the name in the chat, but that was a question from the chat. Okay, just before we go back into it, I want to talk a little bit about the last album and something that I've always admired about Trivium, and that is your lyricism. We'll go back into gear shortly, guys. Don't worry. I'm still a gear head, but that's something that I really wanted to address with you, because every time there seem to be your lyrics are so well thought out and researched and meaningful, and to me they always seem to be a guideline. I don't want to say concept album because it's always kind of a misleading term, but like you always have a main line throughout an album, and I was always curious to see where that came from, whether it was Greek mythology or Japanese culture or murders or whatever is driving you to follow these lines. How do you go about that?
It's really whatever is feeling. Like it's something that feels strong that needs to be addressed. For this one and for the last one, what's been really great is up until from Ember to Inferno until Silence of the Snow, I wrote about 99% of lyrics. And Paulo has stepped up as being really an incredible lyricist, melody writer, and songwriter over the last two. So he's written quite a bit of the lyrics and the melodies on this one. But I'll think back to like Defiant is one that I wrote pretty much most of the lyrics to. That track, I have my meanings of why I made it the way I made it, or why I wrote the thing I wrote. Same with Sickness Unto You is probably the one that I wrote the most lyrics on. A lot of people are already kind of deciphering what they feel it is, but what we've wanted to push our audience to do is whatever they feel like is the right answer of what this means to them is right. There is no right or wrong for now. And I think that after a year or so, when people will start asking again, we'll tell them exactly what we were thinking. So we want them to really be able to make these their own at first. But we put just as much thought and emphasis in lyrics as we do as music, as stage show, as videos, as everything needs to have its own world. It can't just be good songs. It has to be an entire world that you step into with our band.
That's absolutely true. And I love the way you phrase the fact that you're not telling people what to feel. Is like, take that and make what you will of it. And I really appreciate that. Sorry, just going back on the Defiant, because that was the first thing that struck me. And then I scrolled down the comment section. I was like, all right, I'm not the only one. Other people have said it. And my good friend Tom, leading to his question, that was just pure ascendency. And that was so much, that was the vibe, that was right there. And his dream is to see Ascendancy remastered or reproduced with your means of production now, and have something like this. And when I heard that song, I was like, this is it.
Ascendancy sounds perfect. So there's no, like, as far as like remastering, like what your friends said.
Yeah.
That record's perfect. The only one that really needs something like redone to it would be Ember to Inferno, and that's click tracks. But I've discussed with my friends at length, and like there's something so cool about the fact that that's the only record that isn't perfectly on tempo. Like it wavers in and out consistently throughout songs. Ascendancy is a perfect record. I would never change anything of it. But with what you said, Defiant, I do love when I look at this record, there are elements of everything we did right across records 1 through 8 on this one. Defiant, it is the most Ascendancy thing we've ever had since Ascendancy, but it's also one of the most in wavesy songs we've had. The middle section is very Crusade-esque, that melody section, that downpick section. So it's like a marriage of everything we've ever done. But when we write these songs, we don't think let's make something sound like something from Ascendancy. We just write, and whatever happens naturally, whatever comes out is what you hear as the end product. And that's why this record's so diverse. That's why every song is so diverse. It's because we didn't consciously say we want this to sound just like this or want this to do that. We just made the kind of music that made us feel good. We didn't think, are people going to like this or dislike this? Let's just make whatever we want to make at that time.
Damn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. I'm processing all of that at the same time, and it's as soon as you mentioned the Crusade halfway, like in that within the song and within, I'm very fond of Ascendancy, but the Crusade is the album that got me into Trivium at the time, and I was like 12 or 13. So like that's the thing that I personally identify with the most, and I really enjoy like people going about this and saying that you are still doing that, but you're just like mutating into something more progressively. And
thank you so much, man.
Cool to see. Okay, sorry, that was
no worries, man.
I wanted to go into lyrics a little bit. Let's just have a look real quick at the chat. Make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, since we've been talking about the guitars, everyone's asking, do we have any idea of a date for these Kramer and the new Epiphone model?
We had a plan, Gibson and I. We had a plan, but obviously we had the plan in place before the world got strange. So it slowed everything down, put a big question mark on everything. But as right now, it's business as usual. Things will happen. It's just gonna be slightly delayed. So as soon as we have updated plans, I'll be letting everyone know.
Okay, cool. That's for you guys in the chat.
Corey and I are also working on some pedals right now, and we're also working on an amp suite. I know it's kind of sound like we're Kiss right now, but it's going to be spread apart. It's going to be properly done, because as we've gotten into gear, we've seen so many things that we would do differently. Like, all right, this is amazing except for this, or this is amazing except for this. So we've been able to establish relationships with like a lot of really great companies and be able to promote them a little bit. And then we found partners with those specific things that we really love. We found a pedal company that we think is really crushing it, that we've been testing some stuff with. We found found an amp suite company for next year for that different bracket, or someone who maybe can't afford an amp head in a cab, who doesn't have the application for a modeler, maybe doesn't want to get a modeler, someone that only has like $150 to get a suite and they want to stream with it. We're thinking of those solutions at the same time.
Man, it's a lot. I'm looking forward to the comic book, the Trivium comic book.
I'm gonna have diapers soon. I'm signature energy drink.
Oh yes. No, but that sounds really good. That's really exciting. Okay, we have a bunch of personal questions in the chat as well. We definitely got to go into that. But while we're still on gear, can you give us a listen? Can you show us what you were talking about?
I'll show you two things. So I'm going to show you the white MKH Epiphone, and just about how it's the greatest sounding guitar right now that I have. And then I'll show you the one that showed up yesterday on my doorstep. Remember, when I don't have these on, I can't hear you, but I'm going to have this on so I can hear my guitar.
So that's what we all want. We've got Amanda here. Hi, Amanda. I'll get on. That's a really good question. I'll get on to your question.
People are going to ask about why the dual strap, because it makes you play 100 times better. That's why.
Yeah, true. If you guys weren't aware, the dual strap on Matt's guitar is something that's been addressed.
Can you hear that? Just give me a thumbs up. Oh, wait. This will.
No, we can hear you.
There's that one. Sounds pretty good. I'll show you the other one.
Yes. Oh, man, that was heavy. What a right hand. Yes. Left one is pretty good as well, man. Oh, that's the new one. Oh, man. Okay.
Now, that one sounds amazing. This one also sounds amazing. I'll show you.
Just different kinds of amazing.
Sounds pretty good.
It does. Oh man, he made his rig awesome. Yes, he did. Every phone sounded better. Oh really? Man, thank you so much for that. Sorry, I forgot you had.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna go on record and say that is the most metal sounding 57 Les Paul that I've ever played ever. That's out of the box. I haven't changed strings. I haven't changed action. I did nothing. I just plugged it in.
Holds up.
And then I'm curious what everyone thinks. Which one sounded better? Mine.
Well, like so far, consensus says Epiphone. Epiphone sounded better.
There you go, man. There you go. And that is my price point of $1,000 versus like 4,700.
Yeah.
So proof is in the pudding. So kids, buy my guitar. Buy my guitar, kids.
Buy his guitar.
Signal chain of that is so my signature. Like I mentioned, the difference is the pickups from Fishman's this time.
Yeah.
And the Evertune is available as an option because Evertune is incredible, but it's not for everyone. If people like to tune the different tunings, then you're already not able to use an Evertune. My signal chain for the white one, MKH Epiphone, Fishman Fluences, Evertune, 10 to 52 gauge Dunlop strings. My signature guitar pick, Jazz 3 signature. That goes into an MXR 6-band EQ with just a little bit of boost at 800 a little bit of boost to 1.5. All right, 1.6, and a little bit of cut at 3.2. That's going into the TC integrated pre. Volume is just over 8. Bass is slightly even on, just barely. Treble is at 4. That goes into a Boss NS2. The Boss NS2, I've tested every single noise gate in the world. For some reason, the Boss NS2 is my favorite right now. It doesn't add any compression, like banging sounds like I've heard with some of the really like kind of sought after ones. That's threshold at 10, decay at 0 on reduction. That goes into an original 5150 block letter 5150 PV. That's going into a Box of Doom, this Dutch company that makes like a road case with a single speaker in it. That's a Redback 150 watt with 2 SM57s doing a fake stereo, because you can't really do a real stereo with it. So it's a fake stereo into Apple Logic with a little bit of high cut, a little bit of low cut, into my Apple MacBook Pro, into my Asus GL12CM, into your ears. Wow. So it's an insane rig that I had to build out of figuring it out. I had to figure it out on my own.
Oh, yeah, man. But you're definitely making the most out of it. Like, it's not like it's something you build just for the sake of building it. That's like you're using that every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, guys, some people in the chat were saying that it sounded better on Twitch than here. It is because we're going through Skype, and Skype does its own thing with that. So if you want to listen to Matt do his thing, go on and check him out on Twitch, check him out on his own live streams, because we're removing the one added layer of internet, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, so if they were like even hearing it just off my Mac versus on my PC, it could even be better. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing, we like talking about gear. The Mac is basically just a glorified mixer. I'm running the Mac with an Apogee Element 46. So I'm running the 2 mics into the inputs in there. The vocal chain is an entirely different chain. Everything runs in the Element 46 into the Mac, then out of the Element 46 into an Apogee Duet that goes into the PC. So I'm actually running 2 digital audio converters, one out, one in. So every band guy that's been asking me, I've had every band guy from Josh from Architects to Devin Townsend to Carl from Nile to just every single band guy who wants to learn. I've been helping everyone that I can. I've been explaining that this 2-system thing is sort of the best one I figured out. But if someone had a mixer would work too, a mixer into the PC. Yeah. It's you really want to get all the audio units off the PC and make the PC just one in and all about the cameras. So I've got a 4-camera setup. Lumix GH4 is what I'm using for my main face cam here. You're seeing an Logitech Brio that I've got for my fret cam, another Logitech Brio for my picking cam, a C922 for the fake headstock cam, and then the vocal chain is insane too. If there's any vocal people out there, SM57 goes into a radial power tube pre, into the EQ3, into the Comet compressor. Then that goes into Mac, which has Apogee, another compressor on digitally with a noise gate and then some reverb. I can also do this if I felt like it. It's just all ready to go. So it's like I've got a full studio ready to go.
Man, this is incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I've been doing live streams for about a month now, and every week with Rabia in All England and some studio producers. It's been all really cool, and every time there's a new toy in the pit, you know, like a new mixer or a new like live stream caster with the camera ins and everything. Is like, it's kind of crazy, and now is the best time obviously to get into that kind of thing. So you had a heads up on this.
Yes, I started 3 years ago on Twitch, and 2.5 years ago I started with music. So at 2.5 year point, I started building the rig a little bit. So
did you do that because you felt the need to connect more? Is it just like you had free time? Or
I mean, we've always only had our fans. We've always only had Trivium fans. I mean, with the exception of Ascendency in the UK, that was the only time we were ever a press band. And we've never really been like a bands band, meaning we're not like always on covers of magazines. We're not getting the awards all the time. We're not the band that other bands are like talking about or wearing their shirts or on the sides of the stage at the festivals. However, we've always been the band that, while there aren't other bands or press people watching us from the sides of the stage at a festival, our crowds are bigger because there's more audience. There's more Trivium supporters than maybe some of those bands that get the backing of press and other bands. So we've always only had that relationship with our fans. So we've always wanted to give them everything that we could because they give us everything to sustain. So I was talking about wanting to start a YouTube channel. after meeting some YouTubers in Spain that we've become good friends with, Jordi Wild and Joaquin Pan. Paulo said, he's like, why don't you try Twitch instead? So I started both at the same time, got home, started streaming video games. I really enjoyed it. I would just stream every once in a while on like a crappy webcam, and there'd be like 15 people. Actually, Trivium Memes from Germany, he just celebrated 37 months. He's like the longest standing sub on my channel. So he was there even back then when I'd be playing Overwatch, not really talking to the chat, not knowing what Twitch was. At the 2.5-year mark, we played in San Francisco. Twitch invited me to their headquarters because they heard I was streaming on their platform. They let me this thing called the Gun Run backpack. That's a whole nother piece of gear we could dissect and talk about that we stream every single show with from that point. So Trivium has streamed every show as of 2.5 years ago for free on our channel.
Yeah.
I told them how much I love streaming after we'd visit on like a vacation. I was like, but I can't stream as much as I want to because I have to practice guitar 1 to 3 hours a day and singing and all this stuff. And my friends Brandon and John, they said, well, why don't you stream that? I said, no one wants to watch me do vocal exercises and practice Trivium songs every day. And lo and behold, they did. And so I started that at, I guess, roughly the 2.5 to maybe 2 3/4 year mark. And I've been doing that 5 days a week off tour since, and 7 days a week on tour. So it's 5 days a week, 2 streams a day, 7 days a week on tour, 3 streams, up to 3 streams a day. And I've been doing that for 2.5 years.
That's just crazy. People are really thankful in the chat, and I'm sure in general, like, I don't see any other band doing that much for their fans. So I say we because I am, and I really appreciate that, man.
Dude, I appreciate you being in this stuff, man. I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, so it's just us giving back, and like my channel's free. People can do just whatever, the same amount that someone that decides to subscribe can be done just for free as well. And that's what I like. There's no paywall. There's no anything like that. People can chat. People can watch. All the archives are there for free. All the Trivium shows are for free. And with this current situation in the world, I've just looked at it as giving people an escape, including myself. They do the same thing for me. Yeah. It's like I'm able to be in here and it helps pay the baby diaper bill and it helps pay the baby food bill. And that's a great thing. And I'm able to be here and make people forget for a minute about the stressful times. And, we've got a lot of people that are furloughed, people that are unemployed now, people that are stuck at home, people that are trying to work with watching kids at the same time. So if I can just get them a little bit of entertainment, that's what I want to do.
That's what we all want, man. Thank you for doing it to that extent and that much. Just it's pretty incredible.
Thanks, man.
Back to questions otherwise because I keep repeating them.
That's how they do it.
Mikkel is asking, what is your favorite band that Trivium inspired? A band that was inspired by Trivium.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, I never thought we'd ever have that, like bands inspired by us. Then I started hearing about bands that like maybe were one of their first bands that they ever saw. Yeah. The fact that Josh from Architects/Silosis likes Trivium at some point in his life, I think it's just so amazing because Architects is a band I'm so influenced by, and I absolutely love. I love Silosis. I love everything that Josh does. So the fact that, I don't know the extent of how much he was into our band, but the fact that he even was for a minute is just really cool. I was saying a minute ago about how we've never been a band's band, but that's sort of shifted lately because, we've always been very vocal about the bands we love, our classic favorites, our new favorites for the whole time. We've been doing that since we showed up. And the Fit for an Autopsy guys, man, they're one of my favorite bands in the world. Some of our best friends in the world. They posted about our record the day it came out. They've, had our back, and we're not used to having that. We're not used to having a band go to bat for us for some stuff that we don't need to discuss, some behind the scenes stuff. But Fit for an Autopsy had my back in this thing. I was like, this is crazy. You guys make me feel really good. And they said that we're all family. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's really good to hear. I think Josh and Architects in general is a really good pick. Thank you. Okay, Pablo is asking, what is your favorite Trivium song?
Of all time?
Of all time.
I guess all time.
And then of the last record.
Of all time, probably Shogun. Last record, probably The Defiant.
Okay. Same. No, so that was for you, Pablo. I'm trying not to skip the names. Sorry, Amanda. I meant to go back to your question. Yes, I am curious about Matt's vocal cord injury and how you came back so strong. Something that you've talked about before, but is always kind of impressive.
Yeah, I blew my voice out in 2014 on the Vengeance Falls tour. I got home, Matt from Avenged actually texted me, said, "Hey, I heard you hurt your voice. Anything I can do to help?" And I said, "What did you do?" And he connected me to Ron Anderson, his vocal coach. Ron has taught everyone from Chris Cornell to Axl Rose to Kelly Clarkson, Adam Levine. I mean, the latter one maybe doesn't make any sense in this conversation. M Shadows, obviously. His teacher was Freddie Mercury's teacher, Ron Anderson's. So Ron taught me, and we determined by seeing vocal doctors and Ron himself, I had been singing and screaming incorrectly my entire career, basically from when I was 13 years old. Some people started correctly. My friend Brandon, I just interviewed him, Brandon from Atreyu. Like, he naturally started singing correctly and never had to deal with that. He's always had one of my favorite voices in music. But for me, I had a cool voice for recording and for playing shows, but it was unsustainable because I was doing it so wrong. So at that point, I started training with Ron, learning how to do it correctly. Then I started incorporating that into my daily routine. Jiu-jitsu showed me what it is to learn something from the ground up and have regimentation and have drills for getting good at something. So I try to apply that to vocals. And then having a stream schedule, honestly, is one of the best things as well, because I knew on a day that I didn't, let's say I woke up, I didn't feel like practicing. It's like, no, but I need to stream. People are depending on me for being there, even though at that time it was 50 to 75 to 125 people tops for that hour or so. I was like, no, they're counting on me to be there. So I'd be there, and my entertaining them and them entertaining me is actually me practicing at the same time. So blowing my voice out, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Twitch streaming have made me the best guitar player, singer, frontman that I've been ever.
Yeah, that's I really enjoy that these kind. I mean, in spite of the injury, of course, this kind of story, because that show you how much of the outside influences, that one thing, like your practice routine or something, is the way you're going to wake up, the way you're going to start your day. Are you going to work out? Are you doing sports? Are you looking forward to something that's going to happen inevitably during that day, whether it's streaming or working? It's really inspiring to hear how musicians like you sort of go into that state of mind.
Definitely. And the way I try to treat it too, it's not that I try to live. I don't think the way I do it is like the typical musician. I believe the way I try to keep my vocals or my guitar playing is more like an athlete. I try to keep it where there's never an off time. I used to, and I'm sure most musicians that you and I would talk to, let's say half of them, or maybe a third of them, they would rehearse just before a tour, just before a record, getting in shape before going on tour, getting in shape for doing a record. But for me, it's got to be year round. There's never an off time anymore. I used to have off times, like when I get home from tour, but now I get off tour. If I get home on a Friday night, I'm streaming and singing again by Monday, just to keep the shape up constantly at all times.
Yeah, I think that's probably the healthier way of doing it for sure, than having like that really, really high and then going back down. But don't you feel like it's like, since you started streaming, kind of like a 9-to-5, having a regular day job?
I've never had a real job. My first band and first job was Trivium. We didn't start making, quote, money until 2006, starting in 99 to 06, basically being negative money up until then. And it's not like we broke big, because we're medium-sized band. So then at that point, the band, when it became cash positive in 2006, that was like my first job. And I was able to make money playing songs in front of people who like it. And my second, quote, job of streaming is the same thing. I get to play songs that I wrote with people that like to sing them or type sing them, and then I play video games. So it's really not too bad. And I love living by a schedule. I know a lot of people don't. My dad is a Marine. My mom is Japanese. So I think it's just baked into the cake to want to be incredibly regimented. I feel comfort out of knowing I'm going to wake up at the same time every day, eat at the same time every day, do the same thing every day, or have a scheduled thing that I'm going to do that day. I know that sounds very stressful for a lot of people out there, but I prefer it. I work better off of it. And if I just go into not knowing what's happening, that's a state I don't like to be in.
I get that. I definitely do. It does depend a lot on personality, of course, but I think that kind of routine and that thing that keeps you grounded into reality and into like a proper schedule is crucial, at least for some people. I guess you included. But thank you very much for your answer, man. We have obviously a ton of questions on touring. And I suppose it's weird as well to be releasing an album at a time when touring is just completely impossible. Did you have something planned? Do you have still something planned but just postponed? How is that going to work as now?
For us, we've been seeing a lot of bands postponing their records, and the way we thought of it, like all the reasons were always like, oh, record sales. And for us, we're like, who cares about record sales right now? People are losing their jobs. People are at home not being able to entertain themselves, not knowing what's next. Why not give them an escape for a minute? So the same ethos that I have for my stream is the same thing we want to do for our record. Like, no, we've got this date set. We had it set well before the world got weird, and we just dropped it that way. It was like, no, we want to give people an escape. We don't care about CD sales, especially when our record is streaming anyway. Let's get it out there as soon as possible so people have something. For tours, yes, we had an Asian tour that got canceled because you can't really postpone festivals, but thankfully we've re-added both of those dates to January. Our Japanese festival Slipknot and our Indonesian festival Slipknot, those are being rescheduled. Hopefully we can get Thailand and Singapore back as well. For the June North American tour, I don't know currently what the plan is, but thankfully a tour that large with Megadeth, Lamb of God, Trivium, and Flames, that's something that can just be moved. When a tour is that big with that many big names that's backed by a large booking agency, it can be moved. I feel for the bands our size and below, the bands that had their own DIY tours set up, those are going to be very hard to reschedule, especially because once the floodgates open up, every tour is going to be eating up every single venue. So we're fortunate in the fact that we're teamed up with a very strong package. Same thing, we had a thing scheduled for Europe that I think we're going to announce around now that we're obviously not going to announce because that thing is getting postponed. But that European thing we have set up, we set a precedent back when we did, I think the Arch Enemy tour was the first one or most tours that we do. All of our European lineups have always been incredible. But in America, we've had some lineups that are okay, some that are great. But since that North American lineup of Arch Enemy, Trivium, Fit for an Autopsy While She Sleeps, then we did Light the Torch, Avatar, Trivium. We did Code Orange, Trivium, Power Trip, Venom Prison in Europe. We've shown that we only want to tour with the lineups we want to do. So the European lineup, when we drop that lineup, everyone's heads are going to explode. It's the sickest tour lineup, and that's saying, like I just said, Megadeth, Lamb of God, Trivium, and Flames. That's really great too. But this one is as good. I'll say it's as good. To be,
I think I haven't seen you guys live in now close to 4 years, and I'm really. You haven't seen us with
Alex, man? Dude, Alex.
No, I haven't seen you with Alex. Oh my God, yes, please let's talk about Alex. Holy.
You missed out, man. It's a different band.
He's such a monster.
Trivium is a different band with Alex live.
He's crazy.
He's the guy we've always looked for. He's the guy we've been searching for our entire career. So if you have not seen us with Alex, you have not seen Trivium. He's
Okay. Yeah. Well, as soon as you guys get back on the road, of course. But there's so many people commenting about you guys keeping Alex for a sec, keeping a drummer for a second.
As long as he doesn't quit. I mean, as long as he's not like, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going home. Then we have no reason, unless he goes crazy or he's not going to get some ice cream addiction that we can't handle.
But he's such an incredible drummer.
He's the guy we've always been looking for. People try to make the drummer thing such a big joke, but we've only had 4 studio drummers. That's really about on par with every other band in the world.
Sure.
I don't know what that says about drummers. Drummers, practice, man. That's all you got to do. You just got to practice. That's all you got to do. Alex understands that. I understand that. That's all you got to do. So I don't know what it is, but Alex is the guy.
That is a perfect fit, though. I don't want to throw shades, because there was still, like, one of my favorite part in Trivium, outside of the lyrics and the melodies, were always how consistently heavy Paolo's bass was. And it was like throughout, and mostly disregarded, or at least underestimated for sure, because his groundwork on your songs is just phenomenal. Like the bass sound is crazy.
And he's one of the main songwriters of the band. Colin Richardson, who everyone knows is like one of the most legendary metal producers of all time, said Paolo's the best bass player he's ever tracked. Josh Wilbur also said, I think, the same thing. When we always talk about how quick, like, our record took 16 days to track because we're so rehearsed. 16 days. That's it. Most bands take 2 to 4 months. Drums took like, I think, 3 days. Guitars took like 2 or 3 days. Bass took, I think, about maybe 8 to 10 hours total for him to do the entire record. He is that good, and he writes some of the best damn songs the band's ever had. I mean, it's nuts.
That's great. Yeah, no, but definitely an incredible selection of drum and bass section at the moment. Okay, since we talked about the tour, what happened in there? when are you coming back to Germany? When are you coming back to Germany? There's a lot of German people
And I
here.
miss Germany so much. Man, I was saying yesterday, my wife was like, I miss German food so much. I miss German beer so much. It is, I mean, Germany has really come around for us. It took a minute. It wasn't until In Waves. In Waves was really the breakthrough record for Germany. It was In Waves at Wacken. In Waves at Wacken that really blew it up. And since then, it's been incredible. Damn it, I'm hungry now. I mean, my favorite thing in the world when we're on tour in Germany is our days off. We just find like a super old beer hall, and all of our band and crew, we just get there really early and we eat and drink all day. I know that's more of like a lot of my like young German friends are like, yeah, that's not really something like younger people do. They don't really always go to beer halls. I forgot the name for it. There's some specific name for like when like
it's like Biergarten.
No, like when older gentlemen all like hang out at the pub. There's like some name for that. There's some very German name.
Okay.
A phrase.
I mean, my German's okay, but it's
yes, that's the one. Was the word? You just said it. Stammtisch, yeah. That's the one. That's the word. So I was like, man, it's always like Stammtisch with these like older gentlemen. They're hanging out, but I feel like it's such a cool vibe that I don't know. Maybe I'll make some new. Like buy some old pubs in Germany one day and make it where all like the 20-year-olds go and hang out, because it's just such an incredible thing to like be able to sit with your friends and just talk about whatever. But yeah, I have a very fond love for Germany, and I'm very upset that because I was supposed to go over for Wacken if we weren't on tour then. Because I've been doing a lot of work with them lately, and I did that hosting the Gaming Village last time, which was super fun, just to actually be there and not have to worry about a show. Just to play games with people there and to eat and hang out with the Wacken crew and the Wacken staff. So I can't wait to get back. I miss Bratkartoffeln and Schnitzel. And I know when I talk about beer, though, in Germany, which is really funny about Germans and beer, when you say one is your favorite, a bunch of people agree, and then a bunch of people hate that style.
Oh, yeah. It's
like, it's
really polarizing.
Hefeweizen, I love so much. And then I'll meet people like, dude, that's the greatest. And that's piss beer.
Man, we have some incredible beers in Bamberg, just like right next to Thomann. So whenever you're anywhere near Munich or Bavaria, I was like, please hit me up. I'll show you around, man.
I'd love to, man. Love to. What else is I love the Cologne Dusseldorf battle of beer. I love that. Because we have some crew that's from Dusseldorf and some crew that's from Cologne. And they always say like, when the opposite, like our dude from Dusseldorf obviously prefers alt beer. When he's in Cologne, he's like, he'll drink like 30 to 50 Kolches. And I'm like, dude, you said this stuff's not good. He's like, yeah, it's piss. And he just like keeps drinking. That's Boris, our like guy. Boris Dusseldorf represent.
Shout out to Dusseldorf then. Battle of the beer. We also miss our beer culture right now. Yeah, I mean, it's Volksgarten, a bunch of really excited German people. I'll have to go. I'll have to go back. I think the first comment in the chat was someone screaming "In Waves." That kind of echoed what you were saying earlier. We'll check up on this. Okay, let's try and find another question. Oh well, while we're on the topic of Germany, someone's asking about your favorite German band.
So I've always said that Trivium's upbringing, we're into the original metal bands that everyone gets into at first. Then I got into melodic death metal, black metal, death metal, but it was really getting into metalcore and hardcore that mixed up the Trivium sound a lot. And those first two metalcore bands I ever heard in my life were Heaven Shall Burn and Caliban. Heaven Shall Burn, Whatever It May Take, and Caliban, Shadow Hearts. Those were two massively influential records on me. And you can hear that because if you are able to get the stuff before Ember to Inferno, like the Blue Demo, that's when it was more melodic death metal thrash.
Yeah.
And I got into metalcore through those two bands, and then it really opened up from there. That's when we got signed to the German metalcore label Life Force. That was our first record label. Same label that Caliban and Heaven Shall Burn also started on. And you can hear that metalcore influence on top of everything that we were into really changed up what we were.
Yeah. Whatever it may take. Hell yeah. He's really happy with your answer.
And obviously, I cameoed on Any Given Day's song. I was in one of their videos, one of their songs. It's crazy to see how well all German scenes in general are doing right now. When we first ever toured over there, it was much smaller. Like I'm sure that there were like different pockets, but when we like supported different bands, but you've got like the Amon Amarth realm that is crushing it. You've got bands like that absolutely destroying it. You've got bands like Architects and Parkway who are able to go over there and crush it. Like the scenes are just doing very well right now. Like metalcore is doing well, metal's doing well, power metal is always doing well over there. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I grew up in the east of France, and like we couldn't have any concert in my area. I had to go across the border and go watch all these, like you guys and Architects and Parkways, either Germany or Luxembourg, but it was always there. It's always it's a really good place to be right now. I mean, right now, you know, as now.
Yep.
Anyways. Some more hypothetical questions. If you could play with any other band for fun, who would it be?
Like a show or just like on stage with them?
Not non-specific. It just said that his would be Merciful Fate. Pool Ninja, are you talking about a show or?
I mean, if it's a show, we've toured with pretty much every single band ever and all of our favorite bands. We've got that covered. But if we're to play with another band live, I don't know. Maybe Emperor, Ishan? Cool. My kid's yelling in the background.
There was a question about that, I think, earlier. What's about your new... Wait, I'm going to find it. Black metal project with these.
Oh yeah, Mritsu.
Yeah, I'm gonna find what's new about the project, I think was the question.
We're still steadily working on it. I've been working on that project for about 10 years now with Ishan, so it's getting closer. The songs are recorded with guitar, bass, the vocals. I'm currently like finalizing writing of it. Alex is doing drums on it. Ishan has been doing all the instrumentation and orchestrations on it. So soon, hopefully sometime in the middle of next year.
All right, cool. I'm sorry, person in the chat. I couldn't find the question again, but there's your answer.
All this talking about food, I had to have a protein shake just to like think of a schnitzel. I was like, I'm gonna go crazy.
I get that. Tobias has been asking that question for a while as well. I'm sorry, Tobias. Here we go. What is your in-ear monitoring system for live, Matt?
JH Audio is who we use. They're out of Florida. They're incredible. We use that and have a monitor guy. I believe we use the Midas M32R is I think that's the monitor board we use. I don't really mess with that. Our monitor guy messes with that. But the JH Audio, I think I use the Roxannes is what I use. They're amazing. But then what I use for streaming is German company, Biodynamic. And I also use a German company for my monitor speakers on here, the Atom Audio.
Oh, that is
some good references. A lot of German love, man. A lot of German.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, no, these are really cool. Cool brands and really good products as well. Onua, I'm trying. Onua, I listened to a podcast of Paolo on Heavy Blog is Heavy. He said that no special edition would be released for this album. What would have been the song they would? Okay, that is a weird phrasing. What would have been the song they would cover if there was a special edition?
Well, there is a special edition. Songs. There are extra B-sides only for Japan.
Okay.
There's an acoustic version of Bleeding to Me and an acoustic version of Scattering. We just felt like we didn't need to do it this time. We might be doing some other stuff coming up here once stuff sort of goes kind of back to normal-ish. A couple covers we've been talking about and a couple originals and some secret cool stuff that I can't mention.
So there will be something.
Yes, there will be stuff.
Cool. Will Trivium play Shogun live?
We have played it before. It's just been a long time, and now that we have 9 records, it's really hard to pick what our set list is. It's going to be so difficult to pick songs. Everyone's going to be upset every single tour. They'll be like, "You didn't play this song, this song, this song." So it's just the reality. That Iron Maiden Metallica curse.
Yeah. I understand how big of an issue that is to go into such a big catalog and trying to pick out the songs that will make the set. But really every time I'm watching a gig, I'm still always disappointed. Man, he didn't do that one. Why did they do it?
That's why I just tell people, watch on the stream and request what you want. I've done Amber from start to finish, Ascendency start to finish, Shogun start to finish, In Wave start to finish. Sin, start to finish, and Dead Men. So I could do 6 of the records from start to finish now. I don't know. It's Vengeance, Silence, and Crusade. I don't know all the songs. I'm trying, but it's too much. Too much for my brain.
That is a lot of songs.
It's a lot of songs. We're actually going to start streaming all of our band practices too. Yeah, we're working on purchasing an old airplane hangar and turning it into a practice place / studio that will also stream in. So we're having like a custom streaming PC being built. We're gonna have multiple, like 4 to 6 camera, like HD DSLR cameras set up. So we're on top of it. We're always a couple steps ahead. Yep.
That is so cool. That is such a genius idea, though. Why is no one doing it? They're
trying. They're trying.
I'm looking forward to see that.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the time at all. I don't know what time is it.
12:40. Oh, sorry, 11:40. Wow.
Yeah, it's been about an hour. I guess we'll take, if that's cool with you, a couple more questions and call it. I don't want to take too much of your time.
No worries. Yeah, next is getting the kids ready for nap time. So.
Okay. Yeah, then we don't want to make that wait too long. Pull harder is a must. We do have some question. I read somewhere that you and the other fellows from Trivium play in Ghost occasionally. Is that true?
I wish it were, but it's not. But I should have just played along. I didn't want to lie to them.
That's okay. We can be doing some myth busting as well in here.
I have covered a lot of Ghost. If people ever want to see me, I've covered, I think, 450 or 500 songs of everyone from Ghost to Amon Amarth to, I've done a ton of German songs singing in German.
Oh, man.
Since we're on the topic of Germany, I've done multiple Rammstein covers, multiple Lindemann covers. I did Kling, Glückchen, Kling, and a bunch of other German songs. They're all on youtube.com/Matthew K. Heafy. They're all there.
You guys will be linking all of that in the description box anyways. YouTube, Twitch, websites for Trivium for Matt. So go check all of that out.
Someone did challenge me to do an Equilibrium song. Which song was it? They'll let me know in a second. It's not that it was too hard. It's that I couldn't find chords for it too. So I had to figure all the guitar parts out first and then try to pronounce the words and then learn the vocal melodies. It was too difficult.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get back to that.
There's so much going on in doing that kind of thing.
Wursthaus was the one. Wursthaus.
Okay.
Or Wursthaus? Is it Wursthaus or Wursthaus? I'm not sure. Wursthaus.
Wursthaus. Oh. There's Trivium memes in the chat confirming that it is that song by Equilibrium. Okay.
Wirtshaus, not Wursthaus. Wirtshaus.
Wirtshaus.
It was too hard. Like if the chords were there, if the chords were pre-written, it would have been easier. But when it's a different language, it's really, really tough. I mean, obviously, you guys speak English and German, but us Americans, we only know how to speak one language, and that's American. So it's a little difficult for us. But we've done songs in Portuguese, Italian, Japanese, German, a bunch of other stuff, Spanish.
Oh, and yeah, you do know. And every live show, wherever you are, you always make the effort, and you're always the guy trying to do as much as you can, and saying thank you. And it's always a really nice touch.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, there's people talking about beer in the comments and more food. And
I like all German beer. Let's put that out there. I like it all. But
let's not start the debate right now.
Kulch or alt beer? Go.
No, but man, I thank you so much for your time. That was really cool.
I'm so sorry I was late. You saw the genuine reaction. I was like, oh my god. I remember that we had it booked. I just didn't remember which day. Yeah. I knew it was a Thursday. I thought it was next Thursday. I'm sorry. So apologies to Gibson.
You were here. We made the hour. It was a grand hour. So thank you.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Time. Oh, please. Yes. I got the fanboying out of me during this one, so I'll be better for next time. So.
No worries. I'm always happy. I'm always surprised when people like our band, so thank you. Maybe next time we'll do one where I can be on my main camera and I could do a room tour or something.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Please stay safe, be healthy, be good, keep making music. Go stream the Trivium album, What the Dead Men Say, because it's incredible.
Dankeschön.
And we'll be back soon. I'll be back soon. Matt will be back soon as well. He said it.
Let's do it.
You've all heard it.
Let's talk more gear. I want to talk more gear next time.
Oh, cool. We'll do. Well, thank you very much, man.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Bis bald. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.